Right, indeed, good morning, Freetown. Good morning, Sierra Leone. It's a hearty welcome to your favorite breakfast program. This is Wake Up Sierra Leone, live on the Africa Young Voices, on 399 on DSTV, and you're also hearing us on radio this morning on 11.7 frequency modulation. My name is Victor Jones. So whether indeed you're watching us or listening to us from the provinces or here in the capital city, Freetown, I want to thank you very much indeed and welcome you to the program. We're also broadcasting on DSTV on channel 399. Today is the 26th day in the month of August 2026, and we are slowly but surely counting down 4 months to the end of this year. As usual, if you're just joining us, we are broadcasting from the top of Tar Hill, the heart of the city, Freetown. Do send us your thoughts through our socials on Facebook, TikTok, and on YouTube. Coming up on the program this morning, we shall be discussing the controversies between Sierra Leone and Guinea over the blanket ban on Sierra Leonean citizens traveling through Guinea. We ask what is really happening there. Are legitimate Sierra Leonean travelers being affected as well by this ban? We shall be discussing that each issue in its entirety. As well this morning, we'll discuss the SLPP National Chairman's Jimmy Bartilo Songa's statement to constituency chairman and party members that they should await political direction and the final choice of directive from President Julius Maada Bio regarding the party's next flag bearer for 2028. What does he mean by those words? And as well, our reporter Abubakar Sidiki Jallo this morning will be reporting on the commencement of the rehabilitation work on the Model O Road, one of Freetown's key routes after years of deterioration and congestion. But before all of that happens this morning, as usual, let's take a quick message from our sponsor, Wakeup Commercial Bank. We'll be right back.
More and more people are using Wakeup SIM Copper Plus in their everyday lives. Did you hear that? She just transferred money for her daughter's school fees. And this man just paid for some products. Ah, Mr. Abu, are you sending money to your wife again?
Yes, like Wakeup SIM Copper.
Ah.
Yes, like having money in my pocket.
Ah, excellent.
Thank you.
He just bought some eggs. The world is digital, so keep up with the times. Have you got a payment to make? If so, just download Wakeup SIM Copper Plus now. You can download the Wakeup SIM Copper Plus app from Apple iStore and iPad or Google Play Store for Android users. You see, it's fast, safe, and reliable.
Morning. Ria, give me 30 Leone top up. Thank you. Hello, babe. How you dey do? Talk to Uba.
Hello? Hello?
Don't settle for a provider that cuts into your data and airtime.
Ria, give me all the 30 Leones.
AfriCell gives you full value. AfriCell, now we network.
Feels good to see your face again. It's been a very crazy day. The joyous feeling in the air when rain falls on a sunny day.
Happy, yeah. Let the stars, let the roll.
Enjoy life's little pleasures with Maltina. Maltina. Share happiness.
As mama, I always want waiting best for me picking them, especially when it comes up waiting them for eat and drink. Now this make I always they choose Sarah juice because and they make come from with local foods them and nutritious and it gets less sugar than the other drinks them. Not to me say so.
We lab test show say Sierra juice gets 50% less sugar than the other drinks them na the market.
Because we mama they know what's best for we picking them, now you make we always they choose Sierra juice. Sierra juice and nutritious, it healthy and it's sweet. Sierra juice, not the taste of Salone.
Fellow Sierra Leoneans,
here's how to update your details for Salone Payment Switch with AfriMoney. Dial *161#. Select option 1. Go to option 4 for Salone Payment Switch. Select option 2 for account registration. Select 1 to register your alias. You will receive an SMS with a WhatsApp link. Tap the link and provide a valid ID card and your last 5 transactions. Someone will help you update your accounts. AfriMoney, quick and easy.
fellow Sierra Leoneans, on 8th August 2024, Statutory Instrument Number 8 of 2024 regarding the conduct of nationwide population and housing census was successfully laid in Parliament. On 29th August 2024, this statutory instrument became effective following 21 days from its laying. Therefore, in line with the decennial census calendar, I am pleased to announce that my government will conduct a nationwide population and housing census.
It's 2026, we dey get with census. Make all man tell him fambulem, and responsibility for bring development. Make all man tell him fambulem. From the east to the west, blah blah blah. From the north to the south, blah blah. No matter how you dare or you try, blah blah blah. Love you want to call, mama or papa, blah blah blah. One pikin or grandpa, blah blah blah. Auntie or uncle, blah blah blah. Salone, may they call to you. No person say you not here. May they call to you. May they call to you.
I'm a papa. Make we come together now. Brother, sister, nothing say you no matter, no. No left behind, no. This night you 10 for. Can join the census. Salone now we on.
Okay, well, show me your name. Show me your address. For make you go join now the plan. The census go make you get the access. For make you go vote now this land. Let the all you. If you don't want make them continue again, make them creep you. Cause this time you're Salone for us.
See what you better say, Kekabo, Aduo. We bring good news, Salone people here, yo. Census don't come again. We ready for control, drive from the young to the older. Say the census go help make development day. Allow me them continue until you know go pay. It go help plan more schools, hospital and lights, even water for you community. Who say you there?
May they call to you. Yeah, one people, one nation. May they call to you. Yeah. Now we number go build Salone. May they call to you. Yeah. No person say you not here. May they call to you. Yeah. May they call to you. Yeah.
Census they come, the other we cooperate. Tell mama and papa, then get for country we all be make we all ready. Census go help for make we know we safe and who's how we stand. If you claim say you love Salone, who's a development day, that day you for day.
Yambo tegina, mimbo tegina. Mingo tetege biambe. Ka 2026 census na me right, census na you right. Family. Imagine if they count everybody, they left you out.
nyonya ye amu boji hole panda wabulo le tebe kwa baya ganga ye tumu kwa mudagbe behave comment ya go salon bate mukeleva nyabi ina na metebe kwa na yo mama kome collabo ganya delega ina
Kakotone dim din dang Katap kata ting anka pe kata konkel anka pe kata banganda yer abaga to bagat aindo gor akalene ta mojamu agatamu tarentamu donye mama marita ka kontu
Ame ya timi wandi Ame ya timi wandi Mwa kongo tami wandi Ungewa menda milwena wo Ya kongo tabi wandi Ungeba handa bebe holo
from this year blama blama from the north to the south no matter how you dare or you try blama blama motoka mama papa blama blama mo pikin on grandpa blama blama auntie or uncle blama blama motibe me they call you yeah one people one nation me they call you yeah now we number go be salon me they call you yeah no person say you not here me they call you yeah me don't call you yeah.
All right, thank you very much indeed. Welcome back. This is a reminder that you're watching Wake Up Sierra Leone live on the Africa Young Voices Media Empire. You're watching us on TV and also hearing us on radio this morning. Now, work is underway to rehabilitate Model Old Road, one of Freetown's key routes, after years of deterioration and congestion. But while the project is welcomed by drivers and traders, residents say several connecting streets like Edward Lane remain neglected. Our reporter Abubakar Siddiqui Jallo reports while Chedo Darami shots the pictures.
Right here on Model Old Road, rehabilitation work is on the way. After months of potholes, traffic gridlocks, crews are finally on site to fix these roads for Freetown commuters.
Drivers, commercial riders and other road users say the rehabilitation is overdue, with poor road conditions adding to vehicle maintenance costs and making daily journeys more difficult.
Model road, na main road, and the road will be facing a lot of challenges right now because the road then dig, you understand, the poor machine them. It can make some sense if the passenger and the model now, then they really strain because you know can't ride the keke outside the pool.
Maybe so difficult for we because with the pool we keke they destroy. Then the you know so the keke are very light. Then the axoba and the bushings them and always they get issue. We say you want for to use this road.
The challenges of now because me be happy. You understand? Where they make this road they are trying. All the pass the spring there, but could they book? Because if you know they pass rough, sometimes we can say pass and make them small, take pass. But for now, all don't say all they need to make them. So now we're happy right now we need to make them. So that we must go live long where the road they find.
You know, it means a lot to we because we save now we get we are 2 months, now we feed with family, and now we save they will do something for we save. So if this road they don't fix them up, we tell the people and plenty tanky.
So we're so happy they don't make this road and it's not really easy. But if they make this road and all, they will, even if they still we wait for how many time, we don't mind for it. As long as what's the road make.
But this road mean a lot. But hey, that you know most women in Bele don't pull like this road. Because when police are going to bike man, where can on my load? Where they pass? Bing. Where they pass? I lie down my very young Bele the pull. If a man not see way for them make this gutter, this ever they make it say brother, I want not to make them make full thing. We go give split towards that side now. We what go so, avoid for jump at the street. Yeah, me don't concrete and put a rope, we all got it back. You understand? But at the same time back.
But while one road gets attention, another critical link remains short, as just a few weeks ago, the old railway line bridge was closed down. And since then, nothing. No restoration efforts, no crews, no timelines.
Well, Railway Line Bridge now, bridge we can always discuss with some of the keke rider there, with some passenger themselves. Because now you expect a school no operate, so the kind of traffic where they block service streets, but some keke them or some motorcar they use the Kingston Bridge. So they find out say the traffic is too much now and school no operate. We say they plead for me Railway Line Bridge try for make, because if you don't make the school open, it will be very challenging for the passenger and we self with the keke man there.
We're ready for it as long as they do the right thing and make our lane be comfortable for we and the school picking them, because school they can open and all, and a main way and all, you know.
This remains a concern for many Freetown residents as schools are set to reopen in September. Abubakar Sidiki Jallo, AYV News, Freetown.
All right, now we turn our attention to the main studios for our very first conversation this morning. From the long-standing ties between Sierra Leone and Guinea to recent tensions involving Sierra Leone, Guinea and Liberia, questions continue to emerge about regional relations and border security. Our concerns over irregular migration, suspected human trafficking and unidentified overseas employment have brought the issue back into the spotlight. Sierra Leone says there is no blanket ban on its citizens traveling through Guinea, but restrictions apply to those using Guinea as a transit route outside established procedures. But what is really happening? Are legitimate Sierra Leonean travelers being affected by this ban at all? Well, in the studio this morning to discuss the necessary crackdown or discuss whether this is a diplomatic concern and if at all the situation will get worse. We have been joined this morning by Charles Mambu, who is a civil society activist who has been following the Sierra Leone-Guinea issue, for the longest time. And also Alphonsus B.M. Bani, who is Executive Secretary for Human Rights Defense Sierra Leone. You could join in on the conversation online, by dropping your comments on our Facebook page, YouTube, or even our TikTok pages. Good morning, gentlemen. It's a pleasure having you.
Good morning.
I'll begin with you, Mambo. I mean, what do we know so far, aside from the obvious headlines of this issue? What are the main concerns?
Thank you again. Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers. Good morning to you all across the world. I know that Sierra Leone-Guinea relationship had not been at its best since 2019, when Guinea started building a military barracks on the soil of Sierra Leone at the Yenga Axis in the Kailan districts. That actions and many others have resulted into the belof of military personnel from both countries, Guinea and Sierra Leone. And even though, few weeks or a month ago, we have been made to understand after the ECOWAS summit in Freetown that there had been a partial reopening of the Yenga axis of the border between Sierra Leone and Guinea. Yes, the military below is there. In culminating into all this is the fact that Guinea and Sierra Leone, being brothers and sisters that have coexisted for centuries and will continue to do that until the end of the war, our relationship has not actually been the way that some of us may want, because of the continuous aggression of Guinea against Sierra Leone and continuous showing of brotherhood from Sierra Leone to the Guineans, both in country and in Guinea as well.
You feel these are the issues that have affected, the relationship? One would say that's one-sided.
Yeah, that could not be one-sided. Of course, the bigger elephant in the room is actually the occupation of Yenga by the Guinean forces for more than 2 decades now. Okay. We were informed of another Guinean attempt to occupy part of Sierra Leone along the Falaba axis between Guinea and Sierra Leone on that axis. Some of our personnel were arrested and taken to Conakry. That one took a lot of time, diplomatic engagement between Sierra Leone and Guinea at the highest level. At the end of it all, we saw our personnel released, you know, and they came back to Sierra Leone. Some of them returned to their post. There are also other concerns of Guinea-Sierra Leone border along the Gambia axis as well, where time without number, Guinean forces have attempted to occupy part of Sierra Leone on that. So the Guinea occupation, or what we can call an aggression on Sierra Leone soil, is actually the elephant in the room. We have seen some 2 years ago the manner in which Sierra Leoneans were deported from Guinea on the pretext that they were illegal immigrants, and some of them were nuisance in Conakry. I went to Conakry with my team, and we also came back to Baramuya. We were there for a day or two. We saw the manner in which the Guineans totally violated the human rights of our citizens. You know, some of them were bundled into trucks. You know, to some of them, from the report we actually got at Balamura, some of them were actually tied into these trucks. We have women, we have pregnant women, we have girls, we have babies. You know, we are all bundled into the trucks, and we are deposited just like we are depositing garbage along Baramuya. The Sierra Leone military and the security sector, including ONS, were very helpful. We were there for a day or two. I went there myself, you know, and...
How are all of these things connected to the current issue on ground?
You know, there's nothing that doesn't have a connection, nothing in life. Nothing.
And do you think we've never offended Guinea in any way?
Yeah, no,
but the picture you've painted is just grossly one-sided.
One would say. What I know is that Sierra Leoneans are more attractive to Guinea, especially of late, because of the strength of the Guinean franc to that of the Sierra Leonean leones. You know, we have a lot of interrelationship in terms of trade, mostly trade between us and Guinea. Because Guinea currency have gained more strength than that of Sierra Leone, we have more Sierra Leoneans now going to Guinea to buy goods and to produce also services between Guinea and Sierra Leone. And because of greener pasture as well, we have a lot of our young men and women that are also heading to Guinea. You know, because they think they can get employment. We have more employment facilities, more companies in Guinea, you know, that are providing young people with their daily bread, you know, in terms of providing them the job opportunities for those that are marketable as well. But along those times, there is also one common issue, the issue of crime. No doubt about that. We have Sierra Leoneans that are involved in human trafficking, and they are using the Guinean axis. This is no doubt, it's a fact. There are a lot of evidences. Toku can attest to that, the Sierra Leone police, ONL, and all of us. You know, you also have drug trafficking in terms of, in addition to human trafficking, there is also drug trafficking. We know of drug cases where even the embassy, Sierra Leone embassy vehicle, when charged properly, they found cocaine and other drugs related right at the highest level. That matter was later resolved diplomatically. The ambassador was recalled. There were a lot of diplomatic and administrative changes at our embassy. So these things are actually ongoing.
And wouldn't it be fair to arrive at such a conclusion because of all of these things that have happened? Don't you think so? That the Guinean authorities perhaps thought it wise to institute this partial ban, if you like, because of all of these drug peddling, peddling stuff, trafficking and all of these things that are happening.
When I read the Ministry of Information, of course, that the voice of the government of Sierra Leone, their press release, I actually had a conclusion, because these are things that I've seen myself. You know, I've seen human trafficking, children have been trafficked, women have been trafficked, you know, through Guinea to other countries, and they have been caught both at the border and the airport, and some of them are using the many illegal crossing points into Conakry and other areas to get their ways out of Sierra Leone and Guinea as well. These are evident. Crime is also evident between Sierra Leone and Guinea. We have men and women that are involved in those crimes, and every state have to take actions, you know, to enforce their law to protect their country as well as their citizens. So if Guinea is tightening up their laws to prevent drug trafficking, to prevent or minimize human trafficking, I think is lawful for any country, including Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone can do similar. We have caught a lot of drug traffickers in Sierra Leone. You know, we have caught smugglers. Some of them are Guineans, you know, collaborating with Sierra Leoneans. There are a lot of trillions of evidences between Sierra Leone and Guinea, and Guineans and Sierra Leoneans conspiring to commit crime, you know, and fear of crime between the two countries. This is very common. It's not only about one country or one citizen. You understand? I know I have a lot of evidence. I've participated in investigations. I have seen them. I've moved with the government of Sierra Leone. We have seen evidences both at the airport of Guinea as well as at the border. You know, these evidences have been provided to us. So if Guinea decides, you know, as they have now done, to tighten their borders, to tighten cross-border, no doubt about it, I think as long as it's within their law, you know, I think they can go ahead. Sierra Leone governments can also do similar thing. As long as what is happening now is the infringement into the human rights of our people. Amidst all those concerns, there are also other areas, you know, very genuine and lawful. You know, if you look at the economic situation of Guinea and Sierra Leone, people will tell you that Guinea have a stronger and better economy than Sierra Leone. You look at the flight tickets, you know, there are many people in Sierra Leone who now prefer to travel to Guinea and buy their ticket here to travel, because it's costing them almost $1,000 less, you know, depending on where you want to go. So the actions of Guinean government continue to attract Sierra Leoneans. You know, some are genuine, some are not genuine into Guinea, you know, to do their businesses. You understand? This record are also there. Even going to Hajj, there are people who actually buy their Hajj ticket in Guinea, you know, and travel from Guinea, you know, to the Holy Land, and later enter through Guinea up to Sierra Leone. There are evidences to this. So what's our concerns as, you know, CSOs, as human rights people, is when Guinea is actually using undue laws, you know, to stifle the human rights of the people of Sierra Leone.
Which of these laws are undue?
Well, you know, Guinea is one country. People who have studied Guinea, you know, especially those who are friends in French, you can understand that Guinea can do anything at any time, you know, when you deal with them. Some of us who are frequent travelers to Guinea, you know, and beyond, if you deal with the gendarmerie, you deal with the military and also paramilitary in Guinea, they will actually tell you what they want you to do. You know, in spite of the fact that you may have all your document, travel document, and the rest of it, there are a lot of, you know, sometimes unnecessary restrictions that could be placed on you, and you have no means of going through them except if they tell you that this is what you have to do, you have to do it.
Let me bring in Alfonso, who is the human rights, you know, expert here. I mean, from your perspective, how would you describe this particular situation at the moment, from a human rights perspective?
From a human rights perspective, the Guinean authority are fulfilling their both regional and international obligation in terms of ensuring that human trafficking does not exist or is laid to rest. And Sierra Leone and Guinea under international law, we have this issue of dual criminality, because what is a crime in Sierra Leone is a crime in Guinea, and trafficking, human trafficking, is a crime everywhere. So that's a dual criminality. So under international law, the Guinean government has obligation to ensure that its territory is not used as a means of human trafficking or being used as a conduit to traffic humans. And so the action of the Guinean authority to control Sierra Leonean going through their borders on the basis of human trafficking is legal. And so it's fall within the other international laws. The concern I think we need to look at from the Sierra Leonean perspective, and the questions that are not yet answered, is why are Sierra Leoneans risking their lives going through due channels or bypassing the due process in search of greener pastures? Those are the questions I think we need to be asking. And I think, to me, it's really unfortunate that I'm even reading short communications from the Ministry of Information telling people that if you want to go out for jobs, shots, make sure that you know that this job offer is legal or whatsoever, all those things. To me, it's really unfortunate that I'm reading short communication, because the government has a responsibility to create opportunities. And those opportunities have not been met, are not seen, are not materialized. And that is why people are moving. And because they are moving, it gives another country, or it puts them in the spotlight that they are aiding and abetting. And the Guinean government don't want to be seen being tagged on that aspect that they are aiding and abetting human trafficking. So one side of the Guinean government action is the issue of trafficking. I will not speak to the issue of migrant workers, because that one is common. Both Guinea and Sierra Leone, Liberia, this is MRU, we move around. Okay. But on the basis of human trafficking, the Guinean government has the responsibility. The other thing I think the Guinean government is also taking cognizance of, which has also created, and my brother here mentioned it, which also created a diplomatic row between us and the Guinean authority, is the issue of drugs. And we saw the diplomatic route between Sierra Leone and Guinea when it relates to the issue of cocaine with one of our former ambassadors in Guinea. And to date, we have not seen a concrete action taken by the government that will also give the Guinean government credence that our own government is prepared to fight the issue of drugs and drugs trafficking. So some of those parameters are being used by the Guinean government to analyze and to assess our response level to some of these critical issues affecting our region, particularly this sub-region, and particularly, to be more specific, the MRU, which we have Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, and the Ivory Coast. And so when you look at the Guinean action, it is specific and it is direct. Okay. The other area which Mr. Mambo has also mentioned is the issue of the economic advantage. A number of people are using Guinea because of the economic advantage in terms of traveling. Even importing. Some businessmen will use Guinea to import some of their goods because of the ports. Here, the tax we levy on the ships coming in is so heavy. So people tend to use other avenues I see no reason why I should buy an air ticket in Sierra Leone to go, let's say, for example, to go to Ghana. Just for example, an air ticket will cost me here in Sierra Leone probably like $1,000. But if I go to Guinea, it will cost me like $600. If I travel on road to go to Guinea, it will cost me almost less than $50. So if I'm going to buy a ticket from Guinea, to travel from Guinea, it will cost me like $650. So already you have saved some resources. So the question now is the government really examining their tariffs, their, the issues of flights coming in and going out, so that you also reduce, because the government has a responsibility. It's not only what the sanctions the Guinean government is putting, but also how you as a government is encouraging your people to even use your own ports to travel, whether by the sea or even at Lungi. So the government has a responsibility to ask themselves to say, why are our citizens going through Guinea? And by the way, we are also losing resources. We are also losing. It was good that some time ago I read that they have removed the security tax, which is almost $50. A number of people were asking, including myself, why am I paying a short amount of money? The money is going to who? And who is benefiting? Nobody knows. But it's also good that the government have realized that that also has an implication.
All right. Let me bring Charles in again. Alphonsus has painted this picture as though it is the government that is to blame here. One, lack of job, high taxes on people levied, and the government is losing a lot actually as well from international travels, from people who have chosen to be using, the airport in Guinea, than the one here in Lunge.
Yeah, well, everything we have to blame the government. We blame them and we praise them as well, because that's what they signed for.
Do you blame the government?
Yeah, well, in almost everything, because they signed for it, that they will take the burden of Sierra Leone and Sierra Leoneans, whether it is heavy, it is light, or it's low. You understand? So that's why in each of these cases you blame them. However, what I know locally and internationally, there is no country in the world that is 100% perfect in everything that normally we blame the government of Sierra Leone on.
Like
there are unemployment even in the United States of America. I remember some times ago we went for human rights conference in Barcelona, and we have a team from USA who were actually canvassing us, to talk to the government of the United States of America, to provide more economic opportunities for them. And I told one of the U.S. Head of the delegation, if you are asking people like us from West Africa, and particularly from Sierra Leone, to be advocate for you while you are in the United States of America, what do I have to tell our people in Sierra Leone when you compare the economy of USA and that of Sierra Leone? So, even in Guinea, there is mass unemployment. It's actually there everywhere you go to.
But how will you compare the USA to Sierra Leone?
We can't compare them in every way so far.
The rates are quite different. In the US, I just checked, it's 1.0%. Here it's 4.1% as of July 2026.
Yeah, I'm giving you
from the United States.
That's correct. But I just want us to realize and understand that even in the great United States of America, there are unemployment.
But it's not as alarming as it is here.
Yeah, no, it's not, because everything they have is bigger than us. Population is higher, economy is higher.
Do you accept that the government should do more?
Yeah, no, our government should do more, because what we are getting currently in the past and present is not what the country desires. We are a very small country, very small population, when you compare it to the wealth that we have, the natural resources that we have. So government past and present, from independent colonial, up to this thing, I think our leaders should have done and should still do more, to get Sierra Leone at least to a level that we don't have a huge migration of our young people, you know, from Sierra Leone to Guinea and from other countries. You definitely have to do more. This is something I totally agree. And we are urging every day on our government to improve the economy, to ensure that the young people have access to better education, better healthcare services, better livelihood, so that they can stay, you know, in Sierra Leone and contribute more, you know, to the development of Sierra Leone as well. This is something that is part of our everyday campaigns, part of our everyday program of engagement, constructive engagement with the government of Sierra Leone. You know, it's almost every day. However, when you are campaigning, you also have to look at the other side of the story. At that time of the campaign, for instance, I understand currently that the teachers are asking for the subsidies, you know, actually to be increased to 100 Leone, you know, per PP, you know, because the current one that the government is actually paying, though they are not also paying on time, it do not compare with the inflationary strength of the goods and services that school heads, you know, teachers and parents actually buy to take care of their children. You know, this is normal. You know, we continuously ask government to improve. When government pay more teachers, recruited more teachers, recruited more nurses, we still go back and tell them, yeah, you have done it. But we still have a lot of volunteers. You know, in our school system, we have a lot of community schools, we have a lot of volunteers in our health sector. Can you again come in and provide more? That's just the case.
Since you've been following, you know, human trafficking for a while, let's look at the statistics. Now, the 2024 Trafficking in Persons report says that in Greece, the highest number of potential foreign trafficking victims identified there, that was in 2023, were all Sierra Leoneans. Now, the 2025 report as well continues to identify Guinea, for example, which we are discussing this morning, Liberia and Mali as well, and the Middle East and Europe as destinations where Sierra Leoneans are exploited into forced labor and sexual trafficking. Do you think Sierra Leone is doing a lot, really, to combat or to reduce trafficking?
No, we have not. We are not doing a lot to combat it. It's a menace for Sierra Leone and Sierra Leone survivor beyond this generation. Because you can understand that most of these, you know, young people under the age of 35 are actually mostly involved. But they are also aided and abetted by very strong people, both in and out of Sierra Leone. Very strong people. So, like the former Minister of Labor, I listened to him yesterday, was saying the Ministry of Labor and Social Security have not actually done much to strengthen their labor laws. So hence, it has allowed the purification of trafficking in human.
He confessed that.
Especially trafficking in children, but more especially in girls as well.
The former minister
and
said
they are scattered across West Africa.
He said that on air.
You go to Banjul, there is whole network of traffickers that are stationed.
So the minister said that on air, that they hadn't done much.
Yeah, no, they haven't. They haven't done
He
more.
confessed that on air.
Yeah, they should do more. They have been done more. Because they have not done more, that's why we are still experiencing and getting the report that we are reading, that the purification is continuing to increase.
Alfonso, I see you itching to talk.
Yes. It's really unfortunate that my brother here is also taking the issue of unemployment, linking us with the United States. I have high respect for him, but the difference are so vast. The differences are so vast. Even though there is high employment in America, they cater for even the unemployed.
It's just 1.0%.
No, I'm coming. Yeah. Let's even forget about the percentage. Okay. Even though there is unemployment, they cater for the unemployed. Sierra Leone, there is unemployment, no provision for the unemployed. So there is no way you can even compare that, my brother.
No,
so that's the
I was just describing a scenario.
No
recently
problem.
in Barcelona. You know, I'm part of the Africa Human Rights Network. Yeah. You know, and we were there. And we have these guys from the United States. You know, so when the head of the delegation from US actually engages me, you know, for us to advocate, you know, for the improvement of their living condition in the USA. So I was just making that comparison.
No, I can
that
understand.
if you can ask me a Sierra Leonean, from Sierra Leone, Mano River, Union, and West Africa to advocate for you who is living in a first world country. What am I going to tell our people in Sierra Leone?
You know, be different, you know.
I was just making that comparison to understand that he actually do not have the right to tell me from Sierra Leone, you know, to go to America and advocate for their own improvement. What about those of my people in Sierra Leone? What can I do with them? You know, and that's where the discussion ended. However, because we are part of the global network on human rights, you know, when you meet at some of these fora, you have to discuss a lot of these issues. You know, what is happening in Sierra Leone, there are people across the world who do not know it, you know, except you meet some of them. Again, some of the problems that are also happening in Sierra Leone are also problems in other countries that we are admiring. Except you go there or you have contact with some of these people, then you can understand the scenario where they are also coming from.
No, I understand the scenario, the context. I was just putting it into context so that people understand, so that we do not. Because the next time people will say, if America is poor, they are not employed, because that is what the government, most of the governments are always saying. We are not alone in this. And when you look at Guinea, even though there is high employment rate in Guinea, the Guinean authority, the Guinean government catered for the middleman power. The rate of self-employment in Guinea is so high that even in Sierra Leone. So there is that middleman power that allows them to be self-sufficient, to say, look, I don't wait for this man. You create job for yourself. We have not, that has not been of a priority for the government. They are doing a bit, but they are not going too far. But when you look at this issue of people moving, let's forget about migrant work or people trying to go out. Let's put it into context so that people understand the desperation of Sierra Leoneans. Let's take a look at the wealth builders that came to Sierra Leone some years back. I guess you remember that, where people are putting money, quick money.
And many others.
You saw a number of Sierra Leoneans pouring their money because they wanted to get resources. Why is that? Because the government had failed to create opportunities. And so they are exposing. When people are so desperate to get resources, to fend for their own living, they do a lot of desperate things. And so the government, the burden of responsibility, the onus lies on the government. For young women, and I will tell you, and I will repeat this again, the time when the former president, Dr. Anders Bergkromar, in Jala University College, there was a time lecturers were not lecturing because they said they need to be paid, right? When they were discussing, it reached a time the students also went on the rampage. When the lecturers laid down their tools, nothing happened. When the student goes out on the street to protest, you saw the level of attack, the level of molestation, the barbaric way the government at that time handled the students. And let me bring it to you. When we went there, we engaged some of these female students, 15 of them. To date, when I recall that, I felt so bad. 15 of them confessed to us that they have to give up their womanhood to raise money to pay their fees. And when they pay their fees, because the government refused to pay lecturers, the lecturers stopped doing their job. Why these women have given up their womanhood to raise resources to pay for themselves, to educate themselves. This is so disheartening. So if you see the level of women going out there in search of greener pastures, it's because the government has not done enough. I'm bringing this into context so that let us forget about the trafficking. Let's look at first in country why a number of people are suffering, particularly the vulnerable group, women and girls.
In what way do you think government should address this situation?
In what way? In the first place, one of the only way that will make the government address the issue of economic, social, and cultural rights is for them to adopt what is written in the Justice Cowan Constitutional Review Committee report, that the issue of economic, social, and cultural rights should be justiciable. It should not be a matter of progressive realization. That is why government don't pay attention, don't even care. So all this we are saying, these people moving out, is because governments refuse to accept the responsibility that is placed on them to provide for the citizens.
But let me come back to you.
Yeah, no, but let me look at the human trafficking. Human trafficking itself is one of the illegal means of making money. You understand? They are doing that because they are getting economic benefits.
Who?
You know, the traffickers. They are getting economic benefit from those they are trafficking. You know, so because when they take them to this country under illegal means, they are using them. If they are women, for instance, this young girl, they have to work, like my brother said, you know, and part of the proceeds actually goes back to the trafficker. And this trafficking is a ring. It's a very sophisticated networks, which I know government across the world, including Sierra Leone, also knows about it, and they can do something to dismantle it. Unfortunately, much has not been done at the moment, so up to today, to dismantle it. But it's one of the biggest, it's just like drug trafficking. These are all means of economic benefit. They bring a lot of resources and money, in most cases in hard cash, to the traffickers and their networks and agents, both in country, in Guinea, and other countries where these guys or other people are actually being taken to. For instance, children taken from here are sold. You understand? It happened during the war, and by the end of the war, we have court cases, you know, where parents have to sue a lot of people, you know, asking them to bring back their children. You know, up to this time, over 2 decades, some of these cases are still in court. You understand? So they are actually means of making money illegally by these traffickers. It's an economic means as well. However, like we started, if the government could continue to put pressure, you know, on the economic diversification program to get the country much more better and attractive to our young people, I think some of this issue may actually be reduced.
Let's discuss wages and compensation. Well, I think that's the biggest elephant in the room. Now, we've seen the proliferation of movements from Sierra Leone here to Bahrain, for example, Turkey, you know, Qatar, and all of these countries. People are seeking overseas employment, but that's not the catch here. The commissioner of the ECC, Francis Ben Kaifala, recently said on air, on Truth Media, that one of the biggest ways, you know, that people indulge in corruption here is as a result of low wages. That's the biggest problem Sierra Leoneans are faced with, and that's why they are indulging in corruption. Don't you think it's high time the government of Sierra Leone paid attention to decent wages and improving the conditions of service for people?
It's actually hard time. Of course, it's never later than ever. You have seen the establishment of the wages, salaries, and
but these are hard times everywhere.
You understand? However, I know the commission have actually not moved from the very office or area that the government allocated to them. So we have not actually had much from that. You understand? It's good. You know, wages and salaries are critical component of economic stability for the citizens, especially those that are working. But here, we are not only talking about official government wages that are actually paid and salary paid. You understand? The informal sector, like Brother Bani was saying, if we can build a middle level where people have the capacity to be engaged in providing self-employment for themselves, it will be actually better, because that sector is one of the sectors that Sierra Leone, you know, for a long time have neglected and will continue to neglect it, which is the informal sector. But let's look at the formal sector itself. Those that our government is providing employment for and they are paying salaries and wages.
But let's look at minimum wage generally across the board.
Let's look at the fact also If you look at the government budget, I'm not a devil advocate, but I will tell you that I'm working with government.
Just to be correct, I'm not referring to government actually. I'm looking at minimum wage across Sierra Leone, both in public and private sector.
Yeah, no, let's not quantify the private sector, because private sector wages are built by the private sector. But then government has to provide.
There's a minimum wage that is appreciable.
No, government has
that could perhaps sustain everyone's.
Yeah, no. The minimum wage for Sierra Leone is 1,200. This is at the latest.
That figure pales, harshly in comparison with what people are going through at the moment.
This is what I'm saying. If you look at the private sector, those private sector that have developed to a level that they can pay more, they are not even considering that. They are paying more. But yes, that's the minimum. It doesn't mean somebody cannot pay more, then they can pay more. Yeah. But the fact I want to also look at, if government says today they are going to increase the minimum wage, by 1,000 or 1,000,000%, the question is, could they be able to pay, regularly? Do they have, because you can, when you are spending money, you must be getting money from somewhere. You understand? Look at the standard in the National Revenue Authority.
That's correct, yes.
You understand? Somebody was saying 300 billion and the rest of it. And that is our revenue generating or collecting area. I will tell you as an economy that Sierra Leone is consuming more than we can produce. We have more consumers in Sierra Leone than producers. And any country, any citizen, where you have the consuming authority, consuming power greater than the production power, we are doomed to fail. No, there's no doubt about it. This is economic theory. It doesn't change. You understand? If you want to get more resources, we have to be engaged in the productive sector.
Who do you blame for this?
No, it's everybody, including the government. You understand?
Okay.
The first blame lies on the government itself because they have to create the enabling opportunity. Right. The second blame lies on the middle level citizen. You understand? I have an uncle. He's now late. You understand? He never went to school in our village. But believe me, even the township, I have to go to him to borrow money because he was so productive, agriculturally productive, sensitive to his expenditure in the village. You understand? So it's hard time we also try to engage our young men and women. Right. You know that to say you have to change course. It's not everything we have to depend on the government to provide for it. Right. No, government will not have all the resources to provide for what we needed. Right. You understand? There is a means that you can also create opportunity for you, no matter where you find yourself.
All right. Alfonso?
When you look at the minimum wage, and you also look at the issue of salary disparity, the Anti-Corruption Commissioner is right. Even though many times they say it is not because they are paying you less that you should be corrupt. But the area where you find yourself, the circumstances surrounding you will encourage you to be corrupt. Now, let's take first the salary disparity before I go into the issue of the minimum wage. You can see, and I will take maybe examples, giving examples in maybe 3 different ministries and departments. Let's take the Sierra Leone Police. Let's take the Ministry of Finance. And let's take Ministry of Development. Now you have somebody, 3 people of the same qualification, BA, Bachelor of Arts, working as a police officer, an inspector, or a superintendent. You have one working in the Ministry of Finance. You have one working at the Ministry of Economic Planning and Development. Now, of the same degree, from the same university, why maybe the one at the police will be receiving, with the same degree, receiving even less than $100 monthly salary. The one at the Ministry of Finance will be receiving maybe less than $1,000 home, and the one at Moped may be receiving at least maybe less than $800 or $700 or $800 of the same degree, same qualification. That is itself is creating problems.
The salary
Imagine,
inequality.
yes, a police officer receiving less than $100, and there is a case of somebody that has embezzled or that has misused amount of money to the tune of, let's say, $100,000, and I am the police officer investigating that matter, and that person, brought to me since I was born, working in the police service, have never received that paper they call in God we trust, which is the US dollar. And that person brought me like 3,000 or 4,000 bills of that. What do you think I will do? We have to be fair. We have to put ourselves in the shoes of these people. And we have to understand the reality. And that is why we keep blaming the Sierra Leone police, that they are not doing better. It is not because they don't want to do better. It is because of the circumstances they find themselves and the salaries they pay them. They are doing more than those gentlemen sitting in AC air-conditioned room, eating big money, but they are doing more for the security of those people that are eating more money than every one of them. But yet, they receive less salary. The same thing goes for traffic wardens. How do you think a traffic warden will not ask you for 20 or 50,000 leones with the amount of money they pay to them? Having said that, let's go now to the issue of the wages, the minimum wage. It's a disgrace to every single Sierra Leonean. We are pretending to survive. Let's take the minimum wage of 1,500, and I want to present
1,200.
1,200. Sorry, the minimum wage 1,200, and I want to make a conservative family figure, just for the sake of this discussion. Let's say you have a family of 3, just to be conservative, so that let us don't overstate the whole issue. So you have the mother, the father, and 1 child, 3 of you, and they are paying you 1,200 loans per month. And even at the end of the month, probably it will go into the 2nd month before they pay you the 1,200 loans. You are in a house. Your house Lord will ask you to pay the house rent on a yearly basis. You have to pay for the whole year. And yet they are paying you 1,200 on a monthly basis that is even not forthcoming at the end of the month. How do you expect to pay that minimum wage worker to pay that yearly rent from the 1,200? And even the housing, the rental situation has never been coordinated in this country. Every landlord can just peg a price, and people have the right to be in homes, and they want to be in homes. So they go the extra mile as to where they can get those resources to pay. And where will they get them? If they are working for government, they take it from the coffers that is being presented to them. That is the dilemma. So government need to do more. You have to pay your transportation to even come and work. You have to, a bag of rice, let's take the minimum, let's say 700. If you remove 700 from 1,200, it's 500. What will be for your condiments if you are going to cook? Transportation, medical, or even your clothing. So people are living in a magic. We are just pretending to survive. That is why many times people will say, Sierra Leone, we are like, this common word they say, but this man a forced life in the park. That's it. That's the way people are living.
Bamboo, let's look at the broader picture. Let's connect it again to the ban, the Guinean ban that we've seen. Do you think we should be looking inwardly rather than outwardly at the moment, given all that is happening? I've listened to both of you this morning. Both of you have made your arguments, and, in a way, it's fair to say that the picture is not rosy. It appears as though that we are forcing people to live like magicians here, with all of the, economic hardship or problems that people are faced with at the moment. Would it be fair to say that perhaps it's as a result of these issues that people are fleeing away to other countries to earn better?
Yeah, no, nothing more correct than that. But let's also further educate our people that officially Guinea have not banned Sierra Leoneans from travel through Guinea. Officially, I think we should make this very clear that Guinea, as a government, have not banned at the moment any Sierra Leonean from traveling to Guinea. What they have done, they have tightened their immigration laws, their travel laws. You understand?
So what are they actually
in
looking
order
for?
to reduce what they have perceived with evidence. It's not just perception. I can talk for the Guinean government and that of Sierra Leone. It's not more perception. We have Sierra Leoneans and Guineans and other agents that are involved in human trafficking. This is just a fact.
But what does it
we
look
have
like?
Sierra Leoneans and Guineans that are involved in drug trafficking.
Indeed.
You understand? Between the two countries and other countries within the Mano River Basin, as well as ECOWAS and beyond. Indeed. So these are part. So they want to reduce, to really tighten and minimize to the barest minimum.
What do you think could have precipitated this?
Yeah, no,
what could have actually led to
this? It's only economic survival.
Isn't it sudden that Guinea will just wake up one morning and say, you know what?
No. What
happened?
No, this I can tell you. It was not sudden. Guinea didn't wake up in the morning to use the laws to tighten that. Even the occupation of Yenga, Guinea did not only cross the river to occupy Yenga. No, it doesn't happen suddenly. You know, as somebody...
So it has been brewing.
They were invited. The government of Sierra Leone invited Guinea to come and help, you know, to combat the menace of the rebel war. There was a treaty signed between Sierra Leone and Guinea.
Yeah, let's
so Guinea came actually. So in terms of this trafficking, it was this is a long. It has been a long record of bad Sierra Leoneans and bad Guineans and other nationals that are involved in all these things. But like you said earlier, if you want to domesticate the conversation, you know, why are people leaving the country? Why is crime also in the increase?
I just asked what could have actually led to this. You know, you've said that it's not sudden.
No, it's not. It was never sudden.
It has been brewing actually.
Yeah, definitely.
So what led to it?
Yeah, no,
what factors actually? Do you know? I'm since you've been following the issue for a while.
It's because of the long time of evidences
that Guinea has gathered.
Both Guinea and Sierra Leone government have been collecting in terms of human trafficking between Sierra Leone and Guinea, in terms of drug trafficking between Sierra Leone and Guinea. You know, when they I think it was 2 years ago when the bulk of our Sierra Leoneans were actually manhandled and put into trucks and deported to Sierra Leone. We went to Guinea. That early morning I was in Conakry and went to the site. When we talked to the officials, both from the embassy and in Guinea, and they were telling us that some of the Sierra Leoneans that have been sent home were actually common criminals. They are drug traffickers, they are smokers, they are distributing drugs, and they are involved in other unlawful activity that is dangerous to the existence of the Guinea as a country and their people. So they wanted to curb crime. In curbing crime, you have to use a lot of other methods. You understand? The only thing what we saw again, while they were curbing crime, they also committed crime, human rights crime against our people. And right in Conakry, you know, when I had opportunity to meet with some of the journalists, I told them, in the quest that your government is curbing crime, you know, and they are putting a lot of this thing on Sierra Leoneans. You understand? They are also committing crime. Human rights violations against our people, and they saw it. We saw women that were wounded. We saw children that were beaten right in Conakry. And the manner in which they were transported from Conakry to Baramoya border post, it was also inhuman.
Indeed.
You understand? In some cases, they even do it without proper diplomatic consultation with Sierra Leone embassy and that of the general Sierra Leone government. They didn't. You understand? They can wake up in the morning and say, this is what we are doing. But what we should all realize is that there is a crime network.
Indeed.
There is a trafficking network between Sierra Leone and Guinea and other countries in West Africa and the Mano River.
What does it look like at the moment at the airports? I mean, what should someone have? What sort of documents do you need to pass through the airport? Because I'm talking now for legitimate travelers who would want to use their airport to fly away to some other country around the world. What do you need to have?
Yeah, our Minister of Information actually highlighted them. Any document.
They were not quite specific though.
Yeah, no, they were not quite specific. Yeah. But what we should also know, if you have your valid passports, you have your valid
ticket,
you have valid ticket, you have your valid NI number, You understand? People are still traveling.
Let's say, for example, I'm traveling to the US, for example.
You know,
I bought
a few
my
days
tickets.
ago, some of my colleagues went to Guinea. They are now on board flight to US and other countries.
They are government officials?
Yeah, no, they are not government people.
Who are they?
They are citizens of Sierra Leone. You understand? They are citizens
what
of Sierra
kind
Leone.
of citizens?
But because they went through the law.
Are they rich citizens? Or
Yeah,
just
no, they are
average?
not. No, they are not. They are not rich citizens. They are just common people. No, they are just common people like any one of us.
So you're now assuring the general public here that if anyone buys a ticket, you know, to use the Guinea airport, it will be free for them to use.
Yeah, no,
they'll not ask them for anything other than their plane tickets and their passport.
No, it's not only the ticket. You may have the ticket. You may have a valid passport. But some of these traffickers may have all these things.
But that's the thing. How do you distinguish between a legitimate, a genuine traveler and someone who has ulterior motive? Because all of them would show you their passports and their tickets.
Yeah, they do. But
how do you differentiate
in terms of trafficking,
these two types of people?
In terms of trafficking, you understand? It's not normally the traffickers that travels. It's those they are
the people that are trafficking, yes.
You understand? And when you see those that they are trafficking, they will go to, they will cross the border and go to Conakry. And in Conakry, they may now decide to process their own document right from Conakry. I have seen that. I have gone to some of these network homes in Conakry. You understand? Including Banjul and Senegal. These are physical. I'm talking about some things that I've actually seen with my two eyes. Not only today, for decades now. You understand? So they will go there, settle there. Some of them may even appear as if some of those children or the girls are actually their family, when in fact that's not the case. We are saying that it's a total crime network for economic benefit.
A bit problematic for everyone.
No, it's problematic. Not
I mean,
from the government to the peer. I have somebody.
How would they be able to distinguish, you know, between a genuine passenger, you know, and someone who has an ulterior motive? That's the biggest question.
Yeah, no.
You know, because everyone is showing a passport and a flight ticket.
Both the police.
And besides those, what else?
Both the police of Sierra Leone and the authorities in Guinea are qualified and trained enough to know that.
To look at someone and tell that this person is a trafficker?
Yeah, no, they can't do that. By your document, by your face, and some of them carrying also.
By your face, you say?
At Conakry Airport.
So you can just look at someone and tell that this person is a trafficker?
Not only that, at Conakry Airport, they have caught Sierra Leoneans with drugs in their suitcases.
So this thing is bigger. It's not only cracking down on illegal traveling, but also cracking down on drug smuggling and drug trafficking.
I think that is actually the motive. They are not
tracking. So not illegal traveling and smuggling, trafficking in persons, no.
Anybody that is traveling genuinely, you understand? You cannot carry an unlawful materials with you, both human being and the material that you are carrying with you.
Right.
And at the airport, you are being checked. And during check-ins, they found out a lot of these things. You know, so that one we distinguish between somebody traveling generally and the one that is traveling on a false pretext.
Would this thing drag on longer than this?
You know, as long as African government, including government of Sierra Leone, are not able, you know, to invest more in production of human capital development.
You mean the government of Sierra Leone?
The government of Sierra Leone. Productions of goods and services in country to ensure that their balance of payment is actually at a level where we export more than we import more. You understand? These things will continue because we are currently importing more than we export. So which means our foreign exchange balance is actually at a negative side in terms of Sierra Leone. You understand? So in Guinea have a better, strong currency now, which is attracting a lot of West Africa, not only Sierra Leonean. Guinea, for instance, is a very big country. Bigger than Sierra Leone and Liberia. It's a very big country. Yeah. So, and it's also bordering with over 7 other West African countries. So it's been attracted to them. We are talking about Sierra Leone because some of the hard decisions that the Guinean government are taking have been and are still taking, including the illegal occupation of Yenga, is actually affecting directly Sierra Leonean. You understand? But there are a lot of other nationals in Guinea from other neighboring countries, including, you know, foreign countries beyond Africa that are resident in Guinea who are not doing normal businesses. There are many of them. You understand? But because some of their policies, you know, whatever Guinea does now, because Guinea have not given up peace in Yenga, and Guinea continue to violate the human rights of our people, sometimes even without consulting our government.
And would you blame the government for this?
This is a country where twice, our government has allowed the Guinean head of state to enter Sierra Leone with arms and ammunition. Twice.
But how would you describe this government's handling of the whole situation of Yenga?
Well,
Since 2018.
They say it's diplomatic. They are moving.
Do you believe it's diplomatic?
Yeah, no, diplomacy is part of interactions between governments. You know, this is across the world. It's not a question of whether Mabu believe in. Yeah, there are diplomatic issues that have actually worked well. There are some that have been dragged, and there are some
that the right way to handle this?
It also depends on the ability of the government, you know, under the leadership of the presidents of both countries, you know, to actually handle it, and also their foreign ministers and other people around the presidency.
Should we have done more than this? Should this government have done more than this?
You know, they are doing their best they could, but it's not the best for Sierra Leone at the moment, because Guinea is still occupied, Yenga is still occupied, Sierra Leoneans are still continuously being deported.
In the ECOWAS communique, they even ordered them to vacate the area.
Yeah, no, that's what ECOWAS said. You know, I was on this same podium when I described the ECOWAS communique as a crocodile tears. That's why they have said that 20 years ago.
Do you think it's all hypocritical?
No, they have said that 20 years ago. 20 years today, Guinea is still. In fact, Guinean troops are not only at Yenga, but they have built a military barracks from 2019. So government, ECOWAS, like any other, like the governments themselves who are representing in ECOWAS, they can give out instructions.
Is this a way of accusing ECOWAS of hypocrisy?
Yeah, no, and there are a lot of issues where ECOWAS have become an hypocrite, you know, because they are giving directives that are don't follow. Any directive that is, the only time ECOWAS gave a directive and it was followed to the letter was in 1998. You understand? When they actually agreed under Sani Abacha that Sierra Leone must be free. Democracy must be returned. The AFRC must be uprooted from Freetown and in Sierra Leone. And that directive was enforced economically with money and physically with military presence, including their hardware. And within a month or two, AFRC was removed. That was a directive from ECOWAS. And that's why, even at the ECOWAS summit, when I talk to other international media, I say, we own a lot to ECOWAS. And Sierra Leone have benefited a lot from ECOWAS. And it's only President Bio, as head of state for now in ECOWAS region, that have physically fought to enforce ECOWAS mandate militarily, because by then he was a military officer. You know, among all the head of state that are now ruling West Africa, it's only President Bio that have fought physically with his life and blood to save West Africa. You understand? That one was totally enforced. But apart from that, there are a lot of other directives that ECOWAS have given that are falling on deaf ears.
Right, Alphonsus, what's our clear way out? We're rounding off now, but let's understand exactly the situation and what our options are at the moment. Because see, people got to travel actually. You know, I have a lot of passengers. Someone is just saying on Facebook that someone even traveled yesterday, you know, through the Guinea airport.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's happening regularly.
The Guinean authority will never bar Sierra Leonean from going through Guinea. They will never.
Yeah.
The only time you will see an indirect ban on Sierra Leone going through Guinea is when the border is closed. As long as the border is open, Sierra Leoneans are passing through Guinea.
Every day?
Every day. Every minute.
Legally
every
and
hour,
illegally.
Yeah. And there are a number of unofficial borders, crossing points that even Sierra Leoneans use to Guinea. In fact, there are some areas that they don't even use leones. They use the Guinea franc because they are very close to the Guinean border. That is where they do their business.
And the currency is stronger than Sierra Leone.
Yeah, well, it's just because of now. Because in previous years, Sierra Leone, our currency is stronger than the Guinean CFA. It's now. So our government needs to do more. But when you look at the Guinean authority response on the issue of trafficking, you know, because people are moving here to Guinea because of the price convenience for travelers, you find out that people that are involved in human trafficking, when you go to the country of destination, if that country, let's say for Turkey or any other country, let me just use Turkey. Now, if they realize that these people are involved in trafficking, what they will now try to check, where is the point of departure? And when they look at the point of departures on the passports or whatsoever documents on those people, is from Guinea. So now the Turkish government now will now pressurize Guinea to say, you are coordinating, you are allowing traffickers to use your country to traffic people. Right. And so that is why Guinea is now taking steps to ensure that they minimize the issue of human trafficking.
Right. Charles, before you give your final comment, let me just take a few messages. Jibril Dumba is saying, it's the man who pays for everything in Sierra Leone, more than other African countries. Our country is not poor, it's the politicians make it poorer. Shame on them. With all the minerals, now this country, shameful. Mystic is saying, I'm enjoying the conversation indeed. We are getting an alarming rate on trafficking because as a nation, we have not been able to provide the basic necessities for citizens. I'm not just justifying the risk they are taking for greener pastures, but if the conditions were okay, the rates will not be high. It is only in Sierra Leone that I know people will not work on credit. You work and you are being paid month after. How will corruption be stopped? Shameful to hear this man boasting of the security breach by allowing a foreign junta to enter your sovereign country with arms and ammunition. A lot of messages actually, some are not too pleasant to read, but Bamboo, can I get your final response to this?
Yes, all responsibility starts and ends with the government of Sierra Leone, just like any other government in any country. That's why when politicians want to be elected to high positions like the presidency, they come to the citizens. So for us as citizens, when it goes bad, it's the government. When it goes good, it's also the government. So the ball starts with them and also ends with them. But I do agree with some of the texts that the wages and salaries is not commensurate with the living standard of Sierra Leoneans. Definitely that's the case. But the question also how much revenue are we generating? Are we importing, like I said earlier, from a practical point of view, Sierra Leone is more of a consuming nation. Our citizens are more consuming than we are producing. Go to the streets of Freetown. See the number of young men and women that are involved in keke riding and Okada riding. And it's across the rest of Sierra Leone. Highly agricultural productive districts like Kailan, Kwenadugu, Falaba, and other fishing. Our youth have abandoned all this area, in order to come and get the money today, which they can use today. You understand? That is the situation, and that is the scenario until Sierra Leone becomes a productive nation, which is this government, they came with a human capital development, which is good. It's really good. But they have to invest much more in human capital development, for us, our Sierra Leonean youth and young women to be able to be more productive.
You're also part of the government, so...
we are. No, that's why we don't sit with the government. We are voters, we are CSOs, and we meet with this and that. But finally, like I said the other time, I actually, I've said it several times, that the ECOWAS head of state that actually came here, we are not fair with President Bill. They were definitely not fair with him. In my view, the manner of host facilities that President Bill provided for these people, and the way he actually ruled ECOWAS as chairman, he actually was qualified to be elected again for the second time. He should have been given that chance to be the chairman of the club for the second time. You understand? Unfortunately,
you're disappointed.
This is a president. He wanted to ensure that you have a strong and
but the president didn't say he was running it again for to be elected.
No. If they have
Did you speak with him before coming here?
Yeah, no, I didn't, but I knew.
You're speaking as though he had told you that he wanted to run for the second time.
If they have agreed, to re-elect him, he should actually have.
So the president is actually disappointed, is he?
Yeah, no, we are disappointed for the president. He may not because he's the head of the. No, because we knew what he did for these people and how his first year as head of the ECOWAS authority was like. Traveling across the rest of the country. This is a president that built a magnificent hall for the ECOWAS summit within three months.
Okay.
3 months it was done.
Thank you so
and when
very
they
much
came,
indeed.
you are also proud of President Bio.
Charles,
unfortunately, they cannot
for being here this morning, and of course, Alfonso Gbani. It was a pleasure speaking to both of you this morning. We hope to be getting you subsequently from time to time, to discuss these issues. This concludes the first segment of the program. We're going for a short recess. Shall be back soon. Speaking to the publicity secretary, and comms person for the Sierra Leone People's Party on the recent comments that their chairman made publicly.
More and more people are using Wakeup SIM Copper Plus in their everyday lives. Did you hear that? She just transferred money for her daughter's school fees. And this man just paid for some products. Mr. Abu, are you sending money to your wife again?
Yes, like a Wakeup SIM Copper. Yes, like having money in my pocket.
Excellent.
Thank you.
He just bought some eggs. The world is digital, so keep up with the times. Have you got a payment to make? If so, just download Wakeup SIM Copper Plus now. You can download the Wakeup SIM Copper Plus app from Apple iStore and iPad or Google Play Store for Android users. You see, it's fast, safe and reliable.
Right, you're still watching Wake Up Sierra Leone, live on the Africa Young Voices, and I am Victor Jones here with you this morning. Do not forget to join the conversation online. Go to our Facebook page, it's AYV News. We're also streaming live on TikTok this morning, as well as on YouTube. You have a multiplicity of choices this morning. Now, next to politics, this morning we are going to discuss a statement from the Sierra Leone People's Party's SNP chairman, Sir Jimmy Batilo Songa, to constituency chairman and party members that they should wait political direction and a final choice of directive from President Julius Maada Bio regarding the party's next flag bearer for 2028. This statement was made in Bo City and it has sparked debate among party stakeholders and supporters alike. So this morning we ask, what does the chairman mean by those words? And to scrutinize the issue in its entirety, we've been joined by the mouthpiece of the Sierra Leone People's Party, Moses Mambo. He acts in his capacity as the National Publicity Secretary of the party. Good morning, Moses. It's a pleasure having you. I'm sure you've been, bombarded with messages, called to several stations because of this statement. How should people interpret this generally from someone who speaks for the party?
Well, generally, we want people to interpret this as the chairman explaining in the simplest term possible Article 6(1)(c), subsection 1(a) of the SLPP Constitution.
Okay.
So all what the chairman was saying was to make delegates understand that there's an article in the Constitution that speaks to certain things, or specifically that article in the Constitution elaborated on two issues. One, that there is a difference between the administrative leadership of the party and the political leadership of the party.
Okay.
But specifically, the chairman was focusing on the political leadership of the party. And the political leadership of the party under the section of the Constitution that I've just quoted gave the president, who is the leader of the party, or gave the leader of the party the powers to provide political oversight and political direction, general political direction of the party. So what the chairman was doing was to clearly interpret that section of the Constitution to the understanding of the layman. And in doing so, a lot of party supporters, some stakeholders took it out of context. But the chairman was merely, that is why when you listen to the video, the chairman started his expose to the delegates by quoting Article 6(1)(c), subsection 1(a) of the Constitution that says when a leader is elected, he or she will be the political head of the party and will give general political direction of how the party goes. So the chairman was interpreting that article to the understanding of the layman. So that's why, like the chairman said, una wait. When the leader ready, he go send a name. A name, for example, because the leader provides the general organizational advice with regards political direction of the party. The leader, for example, when the time is ripe upon consultation, will say, okay, the next convention for the election of the flag bearer is going to be in Port Loco. That's the name of a place the presidents have sent.
You think that's the name the chairman was referring to?
No, I'm just making, the chairman did not refer to any name. The chairman said a name.
When he said, I quote, Marabio get for come with da commandments, Nabo.
Yes.
He said, thou shalt be.
Will follow.
What in that mean?
So
to you?
What does that mean?
How do you interpret this? Because I watched a video for more of your members, actually. The guy was basically threatening that if at all, a candidate is imposed on members of the party, then they would ensure that the party loses the next election.
Okay, so let us understand that. People need to understand that the SLPP is different from many political parties in sub-Saharan Africa. And so our nomenclature of practicing a clear democratic pathway is unmatched.
Okay.
So that's clear. And the leader we have today, his democratic credentials in administering whether the country or the party SLPP is also unmatched. We've seen on several occasions, you yourself will attest to that. I was here after if it was you that interviewed me, after the Bitumani conference regarding the statement President Bio made when there were rumors going around that President Bio, everybody is saying, oh, President Bio, now they support me. This list is out, President Bio. But when President Bio took the podium on that day in Bitumani, everybody went back to their shells. Because President Bio himself was cracking jokes. He said, people don't use my name Bokuo, but I don't send nobody. I can speak for myself. I'm not the same person where I want to talk. When I'm ready to speak, when the podium and the platform is created, I can speak for myself. And today, I'm speaking for myself. I am not supporting no one in this convention. Let the best man or woman wins. Delegates, vote your consciences. That statement alone sent a shockwave around the world, not only Sierra Leone, sent a shockwave around the world that the Constitution under Article 6 gave you powers.
Yeah.
And those powers, you use them democratically to make sure you create the space, create a platform for a free and fair and credible internal democratic processes and policies. So when it comes to the bigger picture and issues where people have been chosen beyond the aspirations of the party supporters or majority of the party supporters have affected us. And it has affected even President Bio. You remember in 2005 in McKinney, a lot of party people believed, it was their estimation that the late president imposed a candidate on them instead of the popular choice of the people who by then they perceived to be Charles Magai. At the end of the convention in McKinney, you saw there was a lot of breakaways. People left. And in that convention, President Bio came third. It was Solobi first, Charles Magai second, and President Bio came third in terms of the delegate voting pattern. And at the end of that, you saw PMDC came out of SLPP from that convention. PMDC came out, a lot of stakeholders went, they left the leader, the president by then, and the former vice president, they left them alone. They left them in the waters by themselves to campaign by themselves. And at the end, the election went to runoff. PMDC, a faction of SLPP, because I will not call it that, a faction of SLPP went to the APC, as always. You understand, APC, they are always lucky. Anytime they're about, every scenario that brought them to power has been SLPP joining them one way or the other. As long as SLPP stay focused, stay together, stay organized, there is no way we will not win democratic elections in this country. So why I'm saying this, I'm giving you this background for you to understand that the insinuation or the way people are taking the chairman's statement out of context, they should not.
So they're wrong.
Because when you look at, I'm not saying they are wrong, they should not. I'm saying they should not take the chairman's statement out of context. The chairman was just interpreting a section.
So after all, President Bio will not be giving a name, actually.
A name of a person, no. But President Bio, for example, as the leader, after consultation, will be given a name. A name, for example, President Bio will say, okay, the next convention for flag bearer is going to happen at Bintumani. Is that not a name?
A lot of them believe, actually, that whoever the president supports eventually gets to become the flag bearer. That's a popular belief within the party.
Well, it means people don't know President Bio.
Do you think he will eventually support one person?
That's what I'm saying. I'd say if that will mean people don't know President Bio. The people who are perceiving, who are having those perceptions.
Members of your party, actually, who are vying to become flag bearers.
Whoever that's within the SLPP that's going with those nations, it means they don't know President Bio. If you know President Bio is democratic credential, even from Bo School, when President Bio is Bo School, President Bio is someone that's very thorough. President Bio is someone who don't like somebody taking advantage of a group of people. He's always just. Even in the army, in the military. When President Bio, when he organized the Palace School in 1996, he took everybody to Bintumani. And he said, we gave the people gave us mandate for 4 years, and we promised we'll go to organize the election. After 4 years, they refused. He organized a coup. He took over and took the people to Bintumani. In Bintumani, the people told him clearly that we want elections before peace. President Bio yielded. He came back to SLBC and announced a date for the elections. So anybody who have followed painstakingly the democratic activities of President Bio will not take the chairman's statement out of context. Because President Bio is not only democratic, but is somebody who loves SLPP. SLPP lives in him. SLPP blood runs in his vein. And he understands what can take SLPP out of power and what can keep SLPP in power. He understands all of that.
I'm looking at a picture of a man who is a husband, a dad, and a head of state, I think he's being boxed to a very tight corner. Do you think, for the first time in this country, even his wife has actually, not shown a penchant to become a president, succeeding the husband? Do you think he will be eventually perhaps choosing his wife over all of these guys?
That is why
he's a husband first, That's a family man, by the way.
That is why we always say, that's why we always say, President Bio is a unique character. It's a very unique and a very meticulous man who takes his time to do whatever he's doing. You see, President Bio is one of those leaders when you meet him, you will not know when he's angry. You will not know when he's happy. President Bio is always just mild. His demeanor is always himself. You will see him, you will talk to him. You yourself will not even know that he's angry or happy with you. But he will give you a safe space to communicate. He will give you a safe space to talk. Maybe later you just see his action. And then you start to, oh, was he happy or was he not happy? So, and President Bio is somebody who likes to operate under pressure. He's able to calm a situation down. And that's one of the attributes of joining the military. If you notice, most successful leaders globally, their kids, even themselves, went through the army. They went through the army training, whether through the Air Force, you understand, or one way or the other, joined the army, at least signed up for the military service for at least 4 years. You know why? Even the queen or the king now, you understand, the princes or the princesses, they went through the army. One way or the other. You know why? It gives you a unique character. It gives you certain training that you will not get in the ordinary civilian setting. Discipline, dominion, communication skills, how to deal with human beings. It gives you a different perspective on how to look as a human being. So those are the attributes that acclimate President Bio's democratic credentials, that where we are. So we feel the pressure. But President Bio don't feel the pressure because he's always very calm and he has institutional memory. But again, let me be hasting and fasting to say this to our supporters, our members, our well-wishers, and our followers, that this SLPP, under the leadership of Sir Jibril Batilo Songa, our loyalty to President Bio is unmatched. It's unchanged and it's unshakable. We have and we will continue to totally surrender our unflinching loyalty to President Bio, who is the leader of the party.
Even if he dictates a name eventually?
President Bio will not dictate a name. President Bio is not that kind of person. If he was, I would say it, but he's not. But we will continue to surrender, totally surrender the party's loyalty to President Bio. You know why? Because what happened to President Kaba when he was deserted, together with Solobi, by party stakeholders, who would not want to do that. Because in as much as he has the love for the party, you understand, in as much as he's SLPP true and true, but he's a human being too. If he feels isolated, he feels excluded, he will say, okay, go ahead.
Because the same thing happened to the APC the last time.
Good. He will say, okay, go ahead. Take your party. You want your party, right? Take your party. But he has the power. He has the power. There's nobody in SLPP who has more connection to raise money for elections compared to President Bio. So it's only but fitting, it will be in the benefit of SLPP to surrender our loyalty to President Bio. You understand? Not through dictatorship, but through a democratic loyalty to him as a leader, so that President Bio will guide the process that will lead us to elect our next flag bearer. President Bio will champion fundraising activities on behalf of the party. President Bio will be the one introducing that leader when he's elected. He will be with him tooth and nail to make sure we campaign. But that will only happen if we continue to show the leader, who is President Bio, our unflinching support, our unflinching loyalty. And again, President Bio himself, people are taking Chairman Batilo Songa statements out of context. President Bio himself has made statements that people should have taken out of context. For example, when we went to Bont and Pujol, President Bio said, "But man, they run past me. I don't even give the battle. It man, they don't begin wrong. Why man they run? Now me get forgive the battle. Not to so that implicitly it means say, not to so if somebody want to, if someone want to take it now out of context, someone will say, what's in this part mean? It means say I get for point somebody, we get for lead we, because he said it clearly that hey man, they run past me. Oh. I still doing at this power. Let man they know they run too much. And then you followed our 75th celebration in Bintumani. When you listen that statement from President Bio laid out criteria that the individual who is to be our flag bearer, the criteria they are supposed to meet. He laid it out clearly. You listen that.
Is that in conformity with your party's, how do you call it, constitution?
Constitution. Of course, that's what I'm saying. He has those powers under Article 6. Article 6 gave him those powers, but what I'm saying, people did not take the leader's statement out of context. Why are they taking the chairman's statement out of context now? Because the chairman, the leader, had been to money at our 75th celebration, our Diamond Jubilee celebration. President Bio laid out criteria the kind of leader we're looking for. In that meeting, if you had intention to be a flag bearer, when you listen, if you don't fall within those categories, you would say to yourself, no, this my, you don't lay
The
out.
president was actually eventually misquoted by the first lady and even the chief minister, who actually went and posted what they thought the president had said. Really.
But we as a party, National Secretariat, we knew exactly what the president said, and that's what matters. People will say whatever they want to say or take whatever they want to take from the statement of the president. But directly, the president was trying to lay out clearly, barely, for us to start thinking the kind of leader we want. He said it clear. He said, one, we want a leader who can cut across tribal and regional lines. See, that's what SLPP wants. Two, he said we want a leader who can unite the party. Anybody that we're going to get to be our flag bearer must have the ability to unite the SLPP. So those were conditions.
Truthfully, do you have such candidates?
Those were. SLPP have many candidates
that fit those characteristics.
That can fit those characteristics by the president. But people did not take the president out of context, because someone would say, when you see the president they lay out here, maybe you get somebody in mind. Now you make it don't lay out then criteria there. But no, the president was acting under under Article 6 of the SLPP 2020 Constitution as amended. He was acting under that Constitution. What Jimmy Batilo Songa was doing was similar, but Jimmy Batilo Songa went further to break it down to the layman understanding. You know, people used to accuse SLPP that, SLPP is an elitist party. Not so. We know they go down to the grassroots. So Jimmy Batilo Songa took his time to break down piece by piece what does Article 6 of the Constitution, what does it say? And then try to encourage delegates to say, hold on, hold your peace. People will come to you. You understand? Intending flag bearers will come. People will come with their intention. But wait. We have not had political direction on how we're supposed to move. Let us wait for a clear political direction from the leader, who the Constitution gave the mandate to give us political direction.
A few days ago, you were, quoted to have said that elections will be conducted in 2020, 2028 or 2030. Well, what's your source? Why 2030?
I'm a political communications specialist, so sometimes we trigger the waters. You understand? For political debates to continue. Jordan, like how the Creole man can say, until you want it hot, we'll continue to make it hot.
But do you believe in that, really? That elections will be conducted in 2030?
Do I what?
Do you believe in that elections will be conducted in 2030?
For me, as an individual, I believe in constitutional processes. So whatever the Constitution says and whatever is to come regarding constitutional amendment is what, for me as an individual, and even us in the SLPP, that's what we will stand by. But we do know and believe the next election is going to be in 2028. Whatever comes, we are in the area of constitutional review, right? The Constitution is being reviewed, and I know even the ECSL Act is going to be reviewed. So we are in an era of review, and we will stand by whatever review together with the people of this country who all will agree. Because mind you, the Constitution we have is from 1991. 1991 to now is more than almost 30 years of a Constitution we've been living by. And mind you, the Constitution of 1991 came as a result of a dictatorship rule of our country. We were not under democratic rule when that Constitution was written. So there are a lot of lacunas, there are a lot of problems. So we need an intergenerational change. We need a progressive Constitution that speaks to, look at, for example, when now we have the 50+1 passed into law, but we are among only the few countries in Africa that were practicing 55% for you to be a president. The world is talking about 50+1. You understand? The world is talking about PR system. Most countries in Europe have a form of PR system. Now, thank God we have the PR system passed. But the PR system discussion is not over. In the ECSL Act now, we need to discuss, for example, threshold. Not so. We need to discuss the type. Because people are proposing, for example, say, okay, let us have, for example, the big towns. Let us have PR system in the big towns, okay? In the smaller towns, like the districts, you understand, apart from the region, like the district headquarter towns or the district, let's have first past the post. So these are all discussion, whether the mixed bag PR system, you understand, whether all inclusive PR system. These are discussions that are yet to come to the floor, and they will be coming to the floor ahead of the next elections in 2028. But as citizens, we must understand this is the era of constitutional review, and there are lots of areas in our constitution that hinge around the years, for example, the 5 years, because for me, I was having a debate with a news outlet in Senegal.
Okay.
Senegal have been discussing increasing the years the president stays in office.
Okay.
And it was someone from Nigeria who brought this up and said, okay, Sierra Leone, you are 5 years, because Liberia is 6 years. So Sierra Leone, you are 5 years. He said, let's have it this way. Imagine somebody, a political party came in newly, and you understand, and you have 5 years. So which means you need 2 years to settle down. You understand? Put your programs, your policies, everything in place, get back the donor confidence, bring back all. You need 2 years to set that down. Then you need another 2 years to start implementing for people to see. By the end of that too, before you start implementing, it's elections already. Because if you spend the first 2 years putting your programs, your plan, transforming your manifesto into a workable document, that the country agenda that we're supposed to follow, before you're done within those 2 years, you have 3 years.
So you want the president's tenure to be extended?
Well, these are national discussions, these are national discussions. I was having that internationally, and they saw it that, oh yes, when the lady made that platform, and I said, yeah, that's the case for us in Sierra Leone, for example, because here is the winner take all, and we don't have a transition methodology in Sierra Leone like in the US. No, US every November 5th, every 4 years they have election, not so. But the president, the new government don't take effect until the 20th of January, the next year, the other year. So meaning there's a transition in the Constitution of the United States. They have a transition period that they work with the incoming government. All department agencies, they work with the incoming government. But here, that's not it. The day they declare you a winner, you take the oath of office, bam, everybody's gone. So for you to set up a functioning government, you need at least 2 years for the government to really sit, start functioning properly, get everything done, and start. By the time now you say, okay, let us start now going after this bridge. Let us start implementing this policy. Let us start writing this bill. But the time is over.
And just for the record, just for my viewers, you were saying, Mahambu, this morning that what you had said that elections could be conducted in 2030 was just a joke.
Of course, that's one joke. But
you are joking.
That's one. Yes, but then,
are you joking or not?
No, that's what I'm saying. I say I'm a political community.
Was this a joke?
It was a joke. That's what I'm saying. I said,
okay,
I'm a true political communicator.
Okay.
So sometimes you throw jabs as a communicator. You understand? To whet the appetites of other political commentators and trigger debate. And trigger debates. But honestly now, which is the truth, we need to actually, as a country, start discussing the tenure of presidencies in this country. With regard, either we discuss.
Do you think it's the right time to discuss that thing?
That's what I'm saying. Either we discuss tenure of presidency or we discuss transition.
If you had your way, would you want His Excellency Madabio's tenure to be extended?
No, I'm not talking of Madabio as an individual.
Or when you come back to power, at all, you come back.
That's what I'm saying. I want
to stay in power
the tenure of presidents.
Okay.
I want the
after this particular government.
I will not after or now. This government is not going to be after. President Bio is going, but this government is going to stay. The SLPP is going to stay in power. That's fact.
So you say you're going to win the next election?
Of course, that's clear. It's all over the place. That's very clear that SLPP is going to win. There is no debate about
that. What parameters did you use to?
The parameters are clear, and one clear parameters. I don't know if you follow the confirmation hearing of the new ambassador that's been assigned to Sierra Leone. Did you follow it? You follow it?
Yeah.
You follow the ambassador?
Yes, of course.
The ambassador that's coming. You know, he did something that I was not really happy about him.
Why?
You know, he broke a news that wanted to keep
the Lunga Bridge.
Yes.
You know, do you think people are going to vote the SLPP again because of the Lunga Bridge?
No, that's one factor. The Lunga Bridge
is a campaign strategy, Mambu.
No. We did not promise the Lunga Bridge. SLPP never made a promise in its manifesto that we'll bring in the Lunga Bridge. Nothing like that was in our manifesto. But President,
actually, I mean, it's just some sort of luck or blessing, you know.
No, not luck.
Because you're actually, with the support of the people.
No, not luck and blessing. I used to say in your program the other time on Sunday, we had the argument, me and you, when I said the destiny of this country rests on the shoulders of SLPP, right? Yeah. And these are the things that sometimes lead me to make that statement.
Okay.
SLPP have always taken up bold actions that will change the destiny of this country. The actions we took after independence in organizing elections in this country was bold. The action we took in ending the war, the actions we took in ending the war was big and bold, including giving up some powers that the Constitution assigned to us. We gave it to RUF, to Fode Sanko, just for us to give concession so that Sierra Leone will be peaceful. The action we took in 2007, I know you were here, it was big and bold. For the first time after the war, Sierra Leone SLPP conducted a democratic elections, the opposition won, and there was a peaceful transfer of power from the ruling government to the opposition. So the SLPP government is known for taking big and bold action. So the Lunge Bridge has been a dream of President Bio and the SLPP government. It is big, it is bold, it will change the destiny and the face of this country forever, and that's why we're after it. But believe me, I'll not be happy because the ambassador for don't wait. Let we break the news, but then he break the news now the Senate. But once he are glad before,
we perhaps could continue this conversation on Sunday. Actually, it's a much more bigger, platform. But I thank you so much indeed, Moses Mambu, National Publicity Secretary of the Sierra Leone People's Party. And this is where I would end today's edition of the program, Wake Up Sierra Leone. I hope I've woken you up this morning with all of what we've discussed. Many thanks indeed to our sponsor, Rocket Commercial Bank, the producers of this program, and to everyone behind the TriCaster. My name is Victor Jones. Until we meet again, goodbye.
You're watching AYV.
You just don't come. Yes? Say you just don't come for save and win big. A call to business savings and loans, what they can call ACTB Bank. Don't bring plan the ACTB Save and Win Babala promotion, where they start from July 14, 2026, so to January 31st next year, 2027.
All you get for do, now for just save 10,000 loans every month and qualify for the monthly raffle draw, also you will get the chance for refined prize them like microwave, DSTV set, mobile phone, freezer, plasma television, gas cooker, and plenty other things then.
And not tap though. If you grow your savings to 60,000 by December 31st this year, you will qualify for take part inside the grand draw. Usai, you will stand the chance for drive away with the grand prize with a one brand new CS55 Plus G. But now one day drive it. Yes, you hear me. One brand new CS55 Plus G.
For making you not go miss this chance for win all them big prize in Yaso, now for us go open account 110 if you never open a 8. If you already get account with ACTB Bank, then you already get advantage. Just continue for save at least 10,000 euros every month and qualify for the monthly draw then and the grand draw.
For more information for this promotion, now for call the ACTB Contact Center on 9595 on any AfriCell or QCell number.
Every day, our nation faces questions that demand answers. What is happening in Sierra Leone? What is the context? Who is being heard and who is being ignored? What does it mean for you, your family, and for the future of Sierra Leone? Behind the headlines are the real stories of the everyday people. Some are being heard, others are being ignored. Because a nation deserves to know more than just the headlines. This is where we ask the tough questions and give analysis that liberate. Join us on State of the Nation on AYV across all our platforms with me, Omar Fofana.